Ben Thanh Market, one of the older markets in Ho Chi Minh. Originally a traditional market, now very much a tourist hotspot, but still retains a lot of the character of the traditional markets which we find all over Vietnam. Ben Thanh Market, central market in Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam. Majority of food is either bought on the street or in the markets. In Vietnam it is not bought in the supermarkets. This is a pretty touristy market, to be honest, but they have some fantastic produce here. You've got mangosteen. This is mangosteen. You've got avocados, you've got oranges. Oranges traditionally are not orange. They're orange inside, they're green outside. You've got bananas. These are real bananas. In the UK and America, generally we have plantains, which are much bigger. But these are bananas. We've got rambutan. We've got lychee. More real bananas. Apples are imported, hence they're in packaging because they're really expensive. They've been imported. We've got dragon fruit, kiwis, here we have durian, hate durian. Durian really smell. And jackfruit. Nice mangoes, everything grown here in Vietnam, really fresh produce. Nuts as well, pulses, nuts, dried shrimp, lots of dried shrimp. Vietnam is the largest producer of cashews in the world, so you get lots of cashews in Vietnam. Rice cakes, lots of rice obviously in Vietnam as well. Sit down. Now this market really closed during COVID, it was terrible. Dried mushrooms, you've got shiitake mushroom, you've got, what else have you got? Dried fish here, it's a little bit smelly, dried squid. Sit down. Dried shrimp.
Hello.
Hello. Straw mushrooms, black ear mushroom. You rehydrate them and then you use them. Coffee, very, very popular in Vietnam. Vietnamese grow coffee, but it's not particularly good.
You want to buy a coffee?
One more, come on.
Yes.
Then you get what I call cat bottom coffee, but it's weasel bottom coffee. So basically the coffee beans are eaten by the weasel, then they pass through the weasel, and then you and I make coffee out of them. Onions, nothing exotic, potatoes, carrots, good horse carrots. The agribusiness hasn't really touched Vietnam yet. A lot of this will come from Da Lat, which is 1,500 metres up. They have a Mediterranean climate and they have a seed stock which is very old and traditional. Most of the farmers there traditionally will propagate their own seeds. So whereas in Europe the seeds are from big companies like Monsanto and they're specifically designed for, you know, disease resistance or colour or flavour or whatever it happens to be, here the seeds are very traditional, maybe 100 years old in terms of their genetic makeup. So you get proper sized carrots, you get lovely onions, garlic will come up near Hanoi, lots of greens. All of this is local produce. Ciao, hello. So as I said, cashews are grown in Vietnam, largest producer of cashew nuts in the world, so they're pretty cheap. 420,000, I mean it's not hugely cheap, that's per kilo. 420,000 is about £15 a kilo, that's still pretty cheap. But then we're in Ben Thanh. Ben Thanh is not the cheapest place in the world in Vietnam, you can get a lot cheaper. As I said, weasel coffee comes out the bottom of a weasel. Handicrafts, lots of handicrafts. These will be made in literally people's houses and then sold here and other places in Vietnam. But Ben Thanh, it's a tourist market. It's traditional in terms of its layouted structure. You have this covered ceiling, you have the open doors, usually bats and things resting in the ceiling, but this is for the tourists. You wouldn't get hats and things like these in the normal markets, but these markets are all over Ho Chi Minh and all over Vietnam actually. But the clothes, etc., are very much for the tourists.
Hello.
Xin chào, hello.
What you looking?
Come on. But if you want your Vietnamese Starbucks coffee T-shirt or anything like that, you know, I went to Ho Chi Minh and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. And this is a place to come. Everything has to be negotiated. You can see negotiating on a calculator. If they quote 300, don't pay more than 150. There's at least 50% to be taken off a price. Although it's also worth remembering what you're negotiating over. Often you're negotiating over $50 or something, which means nothing to perhaps many of us, but means lots and lots to the people here, particularly after COVID. If you want your Christian Dior or your Prada, this or Kongmo, come on. This is the place to get it all. Makeup, cosmetics, not sure I trust the cosmetics here. Watches. Xin chào. Come on. I mean, it's lovely to see this place slightly busier now because it basically shut during COVID for almost 2 years, and it was a disaster for people who were this is an income. It's really good to see it. Xin chào, come on.
So you want wallet?
Come on. Hello, xin chào. Fabrics, so lots of tailors in Vietnam. If you want a fabric, you can come here. Alternatively, you can go up to Hai Ba Trung, which is one of the main streets here in Ho Chi Minh, and you'll get lots of tailor fabrics up in Hai Ba Trung as well. Now this is down a little alley because people are coming here specifically to look for tailor fabrics. They're not just going to be browsing for them. So this is off the main thoroughfare in Ben Thanh. You can see lots more fabrics. It's a nice temperature in here today. Sometimes it's baking hot. Today it's really not. Xin chào, hello. So you also get lots of street food here in Ben Thanh Market, mainly for the locals, but also for the tourists. So this is almost certainly a rice pancake. Lots of eggs, as you can see. Come on. So lots of fast food here. They don't have refrigerators here or anything. You can see all the meat out in the heat, as they would say, get the meat out the heat, but not here. Prices have gone up a lot over the last year or so because of COVID. You can see though, shrimp, these are vanamai, which are not indigenous to Vietnam. Black tiger are indigenous to Vietnam. When we see some, I'll point them out. Bits of fish, chicken, cooked obviously, all sorts of cuts available for eating. Xin chào, hello, a nice stir fry that the lady's done here with noodle. You can see the hygiene really good here. I've seen a few rats already. I'll try and catch one on tape. You get these little sauce parcels, so when you do a takeaway, that goes in, the sauce parcel goes in the takeaway. Rice. Lots and lots of lovely food here. Dried fish, dried meat. Xin chào. Skewers, come on. Summer rolls, which are a delicacy in Vietnam. They're basically noodles, herbs, and shrimp. Pho is the main dish here. I always thought starvation food. I think pho developed most likely during all the wars. They had 80 years of wars here, and there was obvious starvation at times. So pho developed as a sort of broth, and you put anything into a pho. You mix in particular herbs and sauces to give it the flavour. They don't use salt and pepper like in a Western culture. They use sauces, strong flavours, chilies, and that flavours up the broth that you're making with whatever is available. Here we have sugarcane, and they do crush the sugarcane in there, and then you drink the sugarcane juice, which is adding sugar to the sugarcane juice, which is always interesting. Condensed milk, always very popular here as well, particularly in coffee. And the coffee is incredibly strong and incredibly rich, and they put condensed milk into it. Xin chào. Really, lunch is over now, so they're washing up and closing down. Xin chào, Kong Mo, come on. Trying to sell me some nook.
Mango, coffee.
Kong Mo, come on. And there is a food market here as well, but the food market it really only operates in the morning. I'll take you into it just to show you. It's some lovely food here. All of this will have been locally caught, probably down in Vung Tau or somewhere like that, or possibly up in Mune, which is close to a town. It will all be fresh today. But that's the point. There's no refrigeration here. Any protein, if you don't see it moving, really don't eat it unless it's in the big hotels, the restaurants, etc. I would not eat personally protein on the street food very often, unless I was confident about it, because you just don't know how long it's been sitting there. This sign here, best price, just reminded me of something. Obviously never pay the price that's quoted. You have to haggle in here, negotiate it. It's part of the fun, they expect it. But also, the shops in the thoroughfares, the busy thoroughfares towards the entrances, etc., they are more expensive than the shops right in the middle. So if you go down right in the middle here, it will be a lot cheaper than it will be on the main thoroughfares. The reason being they pay more for renting a shop which is by a main thoroughfare with lots of passing-by people, rather than in the middle where perhaps people are less comfortable to go. So my advice, haggle hard, go into the middle. Don't buy on the main thoroughfares.